Hello everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic, and today we actually have a somewhat decent article from Scott Mendelson. So Scott is here calling out all of the people who are saying, oh, well, now the reason why, because of course the reason why Solo failed is changing every single day. At first it was, oh, it's not failing, wait until next weekend, you'll see. And then all of a sudden it was, oh, wait a minute, it's because it's a white male lead that this movie has failed. And then it was, oh, well, it's because of a bunch of racist and sexist, and we're not going to acknowledge a boycott of any kind, but we'll at least say that there were some racists and sexists out there who were basically attacking Kathleen Kennedy for no reason, and that might be a part of the reason why the movie didn't do as bad, but we're not going to say that they had any major impact on it whatsoever. But now we actually have Scott Mendelson, our buddy, our good and dear friend Scott Mendelson from Forbes, actually saying some truth, actually speaking some truth that doesn't actually drive me insane. So here he says, as you see right up here, he says, don't blame marketing for Solo, a Star Wars story, for the box office failure. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Scott. Do not blame the marketing, because as we all know, they spent so much money on the marketing. The marketing for this, the trailers were not totally garbage as far as trailers are concerned, but what Scott gets to here later on is truly the most enlightening thing that he has ever said, and probably the smartest thing that I've heard from the from the dishonest media lately. And it has so much truth to it that I think is just totally important to watch. So here's what it says here. It says, the idea that Solo underperformed because the first teasers hid the lead character, or that the marketing started late lets everything else off the hook. It absolves Lucasfilm of their choice to make a young Han Solo prequel when everyone was waving their hands in the air for years, arguing that the young original trilogy character prequel movies were a bad idea from the start. Thank you, yes. Not to mention that, but also no one wanted a young Han Solo film. None of the fans wanted that. And they show that by the fact that they did not show up, they did not pay to go see this film. And it just drives me insane that they are just ignoring all of the facts. We have the numbers. We can crunch the numbers now ourselves. It is not that difficult. And yet they are still in this bubble. They are still in this protective shell where they do not want to admit the mistakes they made. They do not want to admit that they ignored the fans. They do not want to admit that no one wanted this film. So they're going to blame literally every single thing except themselves. They're going to blame every single thing. Oh, McAfee, go away for the love of all that is holy. Okay. But it just drives me insane that they are still trying to blame every little thing. So thank you, Scott Mendelson. I can't believe I'm saying that, for actually speaking some truth on this. No one wanted this, and people were criticizing the prequels for years, so why would they think another prequel would be a good idea, especially a prequel that was not that great, that was a C-level film with some of the worst casting decisions, and also one of the worst characters since Jar Jar Binks on the silver screen. Even I would say worse than Jar Jar Binks, which is very hard to do, because don't get me wrong, Jar Jar is still a terrible character. There are some who try and say that, oh, Jar Jar's been justified. No, I will not say that at all. Jar Jar is still a terrible character, but L337 is one of the worst characters ever created in the Star Wars universe, and oh my goodness, it just drives me insane that people are still ignoring this. They are still ignoring the facts. But yes, thank you, Scott Mendelson, for mentioning this, because this is absolutely true. Again, no one wanted this. So blaming the marketing means blaming something other than the movie, thank you, and the non-appeal of movies like it, while selling the myth that there was a different marketing campaign for this specific Solo movie that could have generated a bigger box office. That's also important to say, because they did the same marketing tactics that they've done for every other Star Wars films, and they spent just as much money, if not more, because of the fact that they doubled down on this film. When they spent all of that money with Lord and Miller and then said, oh, we don't like your direction, we don't like that you're improving all this all that much, we don't like that. And then Kathleen Kennedy fires them and then continues the project, brings in Ron Howard. Ron Howard says, I can't use this, let me reshoot 80% of the film. And they had already spent a good $250-300 million. That is just insane. Oh my goodness, if Kathleen Kennedy does not lose her job, then they are just stupid. I'm sorry, I hate to say that, I hate to speak like that, but there's really there's really nothing else to say about that. Because if you're going to be losing a film hundreds of millions of dollars, you should not keep your job. If you're losing any project in any industry, millions and hundreds of millions of dollars at that, you should not be allowed to keep your job. Period. I don't care who she is. I don't care anything else about her. If she is the one who made that decision and she is the one that cost the studio that much money, she should not have a job. Period. All right. Whew. It absolves the core concept of young Han Solo with a mostly unknown leading man taking over for a character entirely defined by a different actor. Yes, again, when we think of Han Solo, we do not think of Alden Ehrenreich. When we think of Han Solo, we think of Harrison Ford, the only person who has ever been Han Solo to us. And the fact that they just don't understand that, and then they choose an actor who is nothing like him, and they need to bring on an acting coach to try and make him better, it's just, I'm sorry, when did they think that this film was going to possibly be good? All right. Even with a marketing campaign that didn't kick into gear until early February, audiences had 2 theatrical trailers that played in front of huge films like Black Panther, Ready Player One, Avengers Infinity War, and a bunch of, so many TV spots. I remember seeing commercials for this nonstop. So for them to say that it's because of the marketing, it's just, oh my goodness. So, oh man, so it wasn't Star Wars fatigue, Last Jedi Backlash, or poor marketing that doomed Solo? Really? Well, this is where I disagree with you. It was the idea of making a merely okay young Han Solo. Okay, so I agree with that. So I agree with part of that. So part of the reason why this film failed was because it was a mediocre, okay film that was not strong, that no one wanted. That is definitely part of it. But Last Jedi Backlash is absolutely a part of the equation. You cannot deny that. When you look at the core group of fans who did not go to see this film, who boycotted this film, who went to buying tickets to other films instead, that made up a decent amount of money for them to make an impact. So, Scott Mendelson, I see that you're once again going off the chains here. So, yes, you make a valid statement where you say that one of the reasons why is indeed because no one wanted this film and it was a mediocre film. It was not that great. It was a C-level film. However, you cannot totally deny the Last Jedi Backlash, because when you look at the raw numbers, The Last Jedi had a huge financial impact on it, and also a huge financial impact which has now extended onto this film, and it will continue to extend on to Episode 9 unless they make some major changes going forward. So, Scott Mendelson, you were doing fine, you were doing okay, and then you had to throw that line in there about how Last Jedi Backlash is not a part of it. Well, it is. But anyway, all right, guys, so I just want to get a video out. What do you all guys think? Do you think Scott Mendelson is on the mend? Do you think that he's still full of it? Please let me know in the comments below. And also, please also give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Hit that subscribe button if you like it as well. And as always, have a great day, and God bless. And just, look at that face. Look at that face. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. All right, have a great day, guys.